Full freedom. We are free. We are a nation of rebels. We're MAGA. We're Trump supporters. Freedom, full freedom. God bless America.
That moment when you go into a Northern Ireland bar and are immediately accused of being a bad person because you're from the United States. Doesn't feel very good. Culture shock, I guess. But we're staying in this cute little coastal town, and we went to just enjoy a beer, and we're like, we don't want to talk about anything or anything like that, and it just ended up with me in tears. So, if you're an American citizen, maybe just proceed with caution.
Put on your shit kickers and kick some shit. Put on your shit kickers and kick some shit. Put on your shit kickers and kick some shit. Put on your shit kickers and kick some shit.
Did you see the clip of the American woman who was in the bar in the north of Ireland? Said she got into a conversation and she got a bit upset about it, and she was like warning others. She was quite vague in what the conversation was about, but I think I know what it was about because I went to her page and I found that she's sharing this type of content. So no, American tourists do not need to be cautious when they're coming to Ireland. Fascist, MAGA, Trump supporters need to be cautious because you're not welcome when you come to Ireland. So save your tears for someone else.
Bonjour, bonsoir, and welcome to another video. Alright, let me get right into this. Alright, today's date is March the 22nd, 2026, and it's 1:52 a.m. local time. I'm going to be doing a late night overnighter video. So, yeah, it's Sunday, and it is. Alright, I'm going to be reacting to a video here on YouTube from a YouTuber by the name of Klaus Kellerman POV. His name is Klaus. His name is Klaus Kellerman VOP. He's a Canadian YouTuber. And the name of his video is Betrayal. New poll reveals how Americans really view Canada and UK. Let me repeat this again. Betrayal. New poll reveals how Americans really view Canada and UK. Alright, for all of you who don't know, or you guys do know, people from Canada are not visiting the USA because of the immigration policy that was put in place by President Trump. Yeah, stories of a Canadian woman being put in a detention center where she lived in poor conditions, unclean, unsanitary jail cell. And I think I heard that a Canadian died in a jail cell in a prison somewhere in the U.S. Yeah, and this affected like people from other countries as well. And the Canadians and people from other countries are choosing not to come to the U.S. because of the immigration policy that President Trump created after he was sworn into office last year in 2025. So I'm gonna play this video, and all of you can watch along and listen. Okay, here's the video. Betrayal. New poll reveals how Americans really view Canada and UK. All right, here it is. Okay, let me adjust the volume. Okay. All right. Okay. Here it is.
Who would it be down in the United States that's telling Americans that we've been ripping them off forever and we're nasty, horrible people that have been getting a free ride from the United States for decades, and we need to be taught a lesson?
Canada is ripping off the USA. That's a lie. Canada isn't ripping off the USA. Yeah, that's some bullshit from Donald Trump. Canada isn't ripping off America. That's a lie. And it is. And this guy just basically just repeating everything that Donald Trump and people in his administration are preaching about. So let me go ahead and continue this. I'm going to be stopping the video and just giving my thoughts on what's being said in this video. So let me go ahead and play it.
Who is it that's been doing that? Welcome back, all my fellow Canadians. I hope your day is starting off just fantastic. I just read some news that knocked me off my seat. I was so shocked. Apparently, Americans are starting to hate us. Not only us, but Americans are starting to hate Canada and the UK. And for the life of...
I'm an American, and I don't hate Canada, and I don't hate the UK. Well, I made some videos about Canada in the past. And those videos that I made about Canada drove those videos I made about Canada, it was about it was the idea of some people in Canada who hate their country. Canadians who hate Canada fueled me to make those videos. And to be honest with you, I don't hate Canada, and I don't. And I've been to Canada, by the way. I went to Victoria, British Columbia on Vancouver Island back in 2013. I went there on a cruise with my parents and my sister. We all went there on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship that sailed from Seattle, Washington to Juneau and Skagway in Alaska, and Victoria, BC in Canada was the last stop before heading back to the States. And I like Victoria. Victoria is a very beautiful city. Very gorgeous. Yeah. The BC legislator parliament building, which had a statue of Queen Victoria in front of it. I can't explain it, but the city was beautiful, and it was, and I enjoyed it. But there's one thing about that city is, the people were friendly. They smiled, but at the same time, they were very cold and distant and lifeless. And I almost got ran over by a girl in Victoria. she almost knocked me down, and that was very rude of her. Of her, almost her walking all over me. But overall, it was I enjoyed it, and I did. Okay, let me continue playing this video.
I can't figure out why this is happening. Well, there's been some recent polling done by Gallup that tries to figure this out. Americans' feelings towards Canada and the UK plunged to new lows under, oh, it's him. The question that the poll asked was, what is your overall opinion of this country? Is it very favorable, mostly unfavorable, or very unfavorable? And here are the results. After decades of Americans viewing Canada as very favorable or mostly favorable, we have plummeted to an all-time low in the view of Americans to just under 80%. And look at our cousins in the UK, down at 76%. We're down at 80%.
So some Americans don't like Canada and they don't like Great Britain. Me? I like Canada. Canada is all right, and Great Britain is okay as well. But hey, as I see it, you know, all countries in the world aren't perfect, and the U.S. isn't a perfect country either. Yeah, but the United States is a very toxic, loop-sided, upside-down, broken, fragmented country. And I really want to get out of the U.S. I don't know if I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to do okay if I move to Canada or Great Britain or the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. I don't know if I'm going to do so well in either one of those countries if I choose to move to either one of them. But I don't know. Yeah, I heard some stories about the United Kingdom. I don't know. I got second thoughts, but I'm thinking about it. I heard, I wanted to move to France, République Française. Yeah, French Republic in French. My French is really bad. Well, anyway, I wanted to move to France, and back in the past, I wanted to move to France, but I changed my mind because, well, like France is really bad right now, and it is. Yeah, Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, he is super arrogant. Emmanuel Macron is arrogant, and he is, and he just single-handedly just destroyed France, and France is really bad, and I don't know. I don't think it would be safe for me to move there. So I'm gonna check out some other countries. I said I didn't want to move to Canada or the UK, but you know, I'll give both of these countries a chance. And again, I don't hate these countries. It's like this. Canada, there's some things I like about Canada, and there's some things I don't like about Canada. I'm not going to go into that. Same thing with the UK. There's some things I like about the UK, and there's some things I don't like about the UK. It is what it is. So, okay, let me continue this.
That means there's 20% of Americans that view us as mostly unfavorably and very unfavorably. I wonder who those 20% are. Daddy, they don't like us anymore. Well, luckily, Gallup looked into the details of these numbers because they too were shocked that it could be possible that 20% of Americans view us as mostly unfavorable or very unfavorable. This?
Stupid commercial. Let me pause this. Sorry about that, folks. These stupid ads on YouTube are popping up. I guess I gotta pause this video and just skip through these ads. All right, let me continue this.
Very unfavorable. And they broke it down to political affiliation. And wait a minute here. The numbers are showing something strange. There's a divergence occurring. Democrats' view of Canada is increasing. Democrats view Canada as very favorable or mostly favorable, up at 95%. But Republican voters' view of Canada has cratered, collapsed, down to 62%. It's those Republicans that don't like us. What have we ever done to those Republicans? And it's the same trend with Great Britain. Democrats' view of Great Britain has slowly increased, and they're at 89%. And I should point out that Great Britain's 89% is 6 percentage points lower than Canadians. Because let's face it, we're more likable. But only 64% of Republicans view Great Britain as very favorable or mostly favorable, which means that 36% of Republicans view the British as mostly unfavorable or very unfavorable. You Brits are viewed very unfavorable in the eyes of those Republicans.
Oh yeah, let me go pause this. Yeah, I did a terrible video on my YouTube channel, this YouTube channel, which you're watching this video on. Yeah, I did a video last year before I went on that disastrous failed cruise trip to Shanghai, China. This was back in 2025, October of 2025. Yeah, before I went overseas, I did a video titled "Why Do the British Look Down on Americans?" And it was a reactionary video on a video on some person's YouTube channel. I don't remember what the name of it was. It was a terrible video, and it was. So yeah. Well, I'm gonna say this, okay? If the British well, hey, let me rewind this and see what this here, so this guy can re-jog my memory. Okay.
As mostly unfavorable or very unfavorable. You Brits are viewed very unfavorable in the eyes of those Republicans.
I think the British people should pull their pants down and stick their butts in the faces of Republicans and blow a huge fart. Yeah, just fart on the Republicans. Or better yet, how about the British create a giant foot with the Union Jack on it, and they can use it to crush those Republicans. Yeah, to shut them up. It would be like this. Hey, we're Republicans. That's the sound of that foot with the UK flag on it stepping on the Republicans and flattening them, or crushing them. So, yeah. All right, let me continue this.
Make it even worse for you Brits. When you look at a list of all countries in the world, you guys rank below France. American Republicans view the French more favorably than the Brits. Because everybody know French is best. Everybody know that. And Canada.
Well, France is not it's not a perfect country. Okay, the Americans like France better than the UK. Um well France has its pros and cons just like the UK and other countries do. So to me, it just shows that um the majority of Americans who live here in the US are uncultured and idiotic, uncultured, uneducated, and yeah, I'm viewed as that as well. But I'm trying to learn something, trying to learn from other countries and be and go online and be educated about other countries. And I end up like making videos and saying the wrong things and screwing up, and I get thumbs down from people. If I post a video, I'll get a thumbs down or I get a insulting comment. And all of that used to bother me, but it doesn't bother me anymore. So I just gotta just watch what I say and just try my best to respect other countries and their culture. Okay, so continue playing this.
That used to rank on top is now third behind Japan and Italy. What is it about those Italians that everyone likes? It seems to be a little coincidental that those numbers plunged right around the time when the bombastic buffoon was elected. I guess it has something to do with him telling all his supporters that those Canadians are really nasty. They've been ripping us off for years and years and years.
Well, hey man, I'm gonna say this. Okay, I don't think Donald Trump should be president of the United States. He should be behind bars for the crimes he had committed. He's a sexual assaulter. He's a rapist. He's a criminal thug. Donald Trump should be in prison. He shouldn't be in the White House. But those MAGA rednecks and those MAGA yuppies and these stupid black people and Hispanic people here in the US voted for this orange bastard and put him in the White House. Yep.
We've been giving them a free ride, and they're horrible negotiators, and we better start charging them tariffs to put them back in their place because they owe us. They shouldn't even be a country.
Those tariffs that Trump is slapping on Canada and other countries, they don't make any sense whatsoever. And all these tariffs are doing is just making things expensive here in the US. And I'm paying an arm and a leg along with everybody in America. We're all paying an arm and a leg for stuff at the store. Yeah, like food, gas for your car, or petrol for your car. Everything costs a fortune. All because of Donald Trump and his tariffs. And Trump thinks these tariffs are gonna put these countries in check, and they're not. They're hurting people in Canada, but they're also hurting Americans as well. Okay.
They should be the 51st state. They shouldn't survive as a country without us. We protect them, and they're getting a free ride from us.
That 51st state. Canada will never, ever become the 51st state. It will never, ever happen. And those people up in Canada are going to make sure that doesn't happen. And as I see it, it will never happen. Because Donald Trump has ADHD. he just say one thing and say the other. And it's kind of sad that these people up in Canada are taking everything that he says seriously. Yeah, but those people up in Canada, I mean, that's what direction they want to go in. So be it, and I'm not mad at them. And they don't want to come to the U.S. and they're boycotting the U.S. And I have no problem with that because I don't give a shit about the United States anyway. This country is a pile of shit to me, and it's always been a pile of shit. And I don't want to live in a pile of shit anymore. And oh yeah, if I was Canadian and I lived in Canada, I would avoid the USA like the plague. And if I want to go on vacation / holiday, I'll travel to other parts of Canada, or better yet, I'll travel to other countries. Any country in the world, as long as it's not the US. Because if I was Canadian, I will never, ever, ever set foot on American soil. That's right. I will never, ever set foot on American soil. I'm going to be like this guy. You see the mouse pointer pointing on this guy's face? I will be like this guy. I will never, ever, ever, ever go to the USA, period. Let's continue.
I wonder if that affected the numbers at all. So that's the picture that Republicans have in their mind about Canadians and the Brits. And sometimes it shocks them when they travel abroad and they get a little pushback, like this poor American Trump supporter who was left in tears when she visited Northern Ireland recently.
Look at this. A Trump supporter. Yeah. What does this say? Oh, this is from TikTok. Left in tears in Northern Ireland. I've ever felt more unwelcome. Let's see what this is all about.
That moment when you go into a Northern Ireland bar and are immediately accused of being a bad person because you're from the United States. Doesn't feel very good. Culture shock, I guess. But we're staying in this cute little coastal town, and we went to just enjoy a beer, and we're like, we don't want to talk about anything or anything like that, and it just ended up with me in tears. So, if you're an American citizen, maybe just proceed with caution.
We don't want to talk about...
If you're an American citizen, proceed with caution. Okay, this woman said that she felt unwelcome when she visited Ireland, or I think Northern Ireland. Move this back. Northern Ireland, that's the United Kingdom. Okay, she said that she has never felt more unwelcome, and she's telling other Americans this: proceed with caution. Well, let's find out why.
If you're an American citizen, maybe just proceed with caution.
We don't want to talk about anything or anything like that. We just want to insult and berate people and make posts online when we're safely at home in the United States. That moment when you're accused of being a bad person, it doesn't feel very good. That's what we thought, when we were accused of being a bad country. It didn't feel very good. But we didn't start crying about it, okay? We didn't start crying about it. And we didn't post videos of ourselves crying online about it. Because when you post something on the internet, sometimes you get a response.
Did you see the clip of the American woman who was in the bar in the north of Ireland? Said she got into a conversation and she got a bit upset about it, and she was like warning other. She was quite vague in what the conversation was about, but I think I know what it was about because I went to her page and I found that she's sharing this type of content. So no, American tourists do not need to be cautious when they're coming to Ireland. Fascist, MAGA, Trump supporters need to be cautious because you're not welcome when you come to Ireland. So save your tears for someone else.
I'm going to have
to. So this American woman felt unwelcome, and she said that people hated her there. And okay, this woman from Northern Ireland went on this woman's TikTok page and saw some Trump MAGA stuff posted on it. And it's the fact that the American woman felt unwelcome because she was a MAGA Trump supporter. She was a MAGA Trump supporter. Let me move the camera right here. Sorry about that. Yeah, she was a MAGA Trump supporter. And she was ripped apart by that Irish woman. Let me play this again. Let me play these videos back to back. Hold up. Okay. Let me pause.
That moment when you go into a Northern Ireland bar and are immediately accused of being a bad person because you're from the United States. Doesn't feel very good. Culture shock, I guess. But we're staying in this cute little coastal town, and we went to just enjoy a beer, and we're like, we don't want to talk about anything or anything like that, and it just ended up with me in tears. So, if you're an American citizen, maybe just proceed with caution.
Put on your shit kickers and kick some shit. Put on your shit kickers and kick some shit. Put on your shit kickers and kick some shit. Put on your shit kickers and kick some shit.
Did you see the clip of the American woman who was in the bar in the north of Ireland? Said she got into a conversation and she got a bit upset about it, and she was like warning other. She was quite vague in what the conversation was about, but I think I know what it was about because I went to her page and I found that she's sharing this type of content. So no, American tourists do not need to be cautious when they're coming to Ireland. Fascist, MAGA, Trump supporters need to be cautious because you're not welcome when you come to Ireland. So save your tears for someone else.
Okay, you saw it. Yeah, MAGA Trump supporters should be cautious when they travel to other countries. They're the ones who should be cautious because their MAGA bullshit isn't welcome in other countries. Period. So I'm not MAGA, and I'm not worrying about it. Speaking of MAGA, MAGA. MAGA stands for Make America Great Again. I think that's what that stands for. MAGA. Well, I got something that's completely different. I'm part of this movement. I've been part of this movement for a long time. It's a movement where I don't take sides. I'm my own man and I think for myself. And I gave a name for this. MMGA. MMGA. Do you know what MMGA stands for? It stands for Make Myself Great Again. And I'm going to do the Make Myself Great Again by leaving the United States and move overseas to any country of my choosing. Move to any country of my choosing and live in one of those countries. Move to any country of my choosing and live in one of those countries. And when I do that, I'm going to make myself great again. MMGA. So that woman, that MAGA Trump supporter, she has no one to blame but herself. And that goes for every MAGA Trump supporter. You guys got nothing to got no one to blame for yourselves, and people in other countries don't like you because of your MAGA Trump garbage. And I don't blame that Irish woman. I will come down on those MAGA people too. So, and also, I'm not going to get online and cry and whine if some people from another country don't like me. Hey, I don't give a damn if people hate me. They can hate my guts if they want. I don't care. And I don't. It's like this. There's some people who like me. There's some people who don't like me. And that doesn't bother me. I'm not going to lose any sleep over this. So that MAGA woman is delusional and she doesn't know what's going on. And it says here that this TikTok video from this Irish woman is titled the text on it says, "This American woman who was crying in a bar." A grown woman crying in an Irish pub because people like this Irish woman right here don't like her. What the? Oh my God, man. I wish Donald Trump wasn't president right now. If he wasn't president, this stuff wouldn't be happening, period. But Trump is president and it's happening. So let me continue this.
I'm going to have to learn how to do an Irish accent myself, because when Irish people get mad, it just sounds really good. Now, this particular American woman posted this as well online.
Speaking of Irish, I'm half Irish, by the way. And I am. Well, I'm going to explain what I really am. I got DNA from the British Isles. I think on my father's side of the family. I'm a black man, by the way, and I'm going to explain to all of you what I am. Okay, I'm Irish, Scottish, Walish. That's in the UK, and also in Africa. I got DNA from Africa, which is why I'm black. Got some African DNA. Got some DNA from people in Nigeria, the Ivory Coast, Senegal, Botswana. And I got some Native American DNA from my mother's side of the family. Also some Asian DNA as well. So that's what I am. All right. Let me continue this. All right.
Because when Irish people get mad, it just sounds really good. Now, this particular American woman posted this as well online. 51st state, and she got quite a few responses. It's a good idea. I wouldn't was it as a state. Way too many liberals up there. Hope not. U.S. territory? Sure. But Canada is too far gone, infected with the mental disease of liberalism to grant electoral college votes.
Yeah, it's like we found out with this American woman who's crying about people at an Irish pub in Northern Ireland hate her guts. Yeah, she's talking about Canada becoming the 51st state. Yeah, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read some of this. You guys can't see it. I'll read it. It's okay. I'm gonna read 3 comments. Okay. The first comment is from one person, and it says this: "It's a good idea." A second comment from the second person: I wouldn't was it as a state way too many liberals up there. Comment number 3 from person number 3: Hope not. U.S. territory? Sure, but Canada is way too far gone if infected with a mental disease of liberalism to grant electoral college votes. Yeah, this woman is a MAGA dipshit. Man, these people are just making the United States look bad. These MAGA people and Donald Trump. God, these people are they're stupid. I'm just gonna say these MAGA people are just God. These people are so fucking stupid. And I can't believe I live in the same country as these people. Let me continue playing this video.
It seems like her fellow cult members, I mean, fellow MAGA supporters, are probably among those that have ranked Canada as mostly unfavorable or very unfavorable. Oh, well, I guess it's just in their nature, because when you look at this chart, which divides Democrats, Independents, and Republicans, this is the percentage of those groups that viewed any of the countries on this list as very or mostly favorable. Almost half of them, or even more than half of them, don't view anything favorably. The highest number on this list is Italy again, and only 77% of Republicans view Italy favorably. The 4 countries with the biggest gap between the Democrats and Republicans are Mexico, Ukraine, Canada, and Cuba. Canada ranks right up there with Mexico, Ukraine, and Cuba as one of the countries that those Republicans disagree the most with Democrats. What's wrong with those Democrats? They like Mexico and Ukraine and Cuba and Canada. What the hell's wrong with them? Now let's be serious here for a minute, because we can have a lot of fun listening to that poor American woman cry. Why do they not like me? The arrogance and completely out of touch stupidity of her. As she...
Oh yes, these people are, these MAGA people are arrogant and stupid and out of touch. And yeah, I'm viewed that as well. I'm stupid, I'm arrogant, and I'm out of touch. But wait, I went overseas. I made videos bashing America. Take a look at the old videos on this YouTube channel where I rip America apart. Yeah, those videos are pretty bad, but you know, they tell the truth, and they do. And yeah, not just like, well, I'm gonna say this, like a lot of Americans, people here in the US, they live in the bubble, and they're completely ignorant of the world, and they don't understand how the world works. Yeah, they have a sheltered mindset, and they do. Yeah, they have this superiority complex. They think that like they're better than their country is better than other countries in the world, and they're superior, and they go to other countries, they're rude and they're loud. Yeah, and then they put down other countries, and they praise the US through the roof. And oh yeah, like, oh, if a country outside the US bashes the US, these MAGA people and these patriotic Americans, they lose their shit. They get angry, they go crazy. They do. And I listen to people from foreign countries put down America, and it doesn't bother me. It makes me feel good inside because I know that this country that I'm living in right now, the United States of America, is nothing more than a gigantic pile of shit. It's a gigantic raging dumpster fire. It's a train wreck on fire. This country is a disastrous mess. It's hell on earth. Yeah. No universal health care, no paid vacation time by law, a very low minimum wage, a very low life expectancy. The education system is in the toilet. The highway system, the roads here in America are big and wide and they're dangerous. They're not like roads in Europe where they're pedestrian friendly. And everybody here in the US relies on the car. And you look at other countries like the Netherlands, France, and others, like the cities in those countries are walkable. Yeah, people can walk. People don't need to have a car or own a car because you got ways to get around. You can take the bus, the train, the tram, ride a bicycle, and oh yeah, walking. Walking is really good exercise. And I remember I was in Turkey and I walked with my parents through there. My parents got so tired and they sat down. And this was from the 2023 cruise that I went on with my that went on with my parents and my sister. My parents and my sister, they got tired so quickly because, you know, they're old and they can't walk. They can't do all that walking like I can. I love to walk. I love walking. It's good exercise and you get to meet people. You get to talk to people. You get to socialize with people if you get around on foot. It's way better than being isolated in a car. Okay. All right.
Listening to that poor American woman cry. Why do they not like me? The arrogance and completely out of touch stupidity of her. As she's being intolerant and insulting other countries, she's wondering why when she goes abroad, she may get the same in return.
Well, I never insulted any other country. Well, I criticize Canada in the past, and I have I just criticize the people and the culture. You know, Canadians are passive aggressive. I say, yeah, they say that, yeah, Americans say that, oh, Canadians are really nice. Well, here's my view on people in Canada. Some of them are nice, some of them aren't nice. Okay? Yeah, it's like this. If you be friends with a Canadian and you're cool with them, they'll turn around and they'll stab you in the back. Yeah, they'll stick the knife in your back. And they will. Yeah, and then you got stuff in Canada where Ontario and Quebec, the two provinces in Canada, they had a terrible car theft ring, and people's cars were being stolen. An officer of the OPP, the Ontario Provincial Police in Ontario, told people to put the keys or the key fob to their car on a table next to the front door to their home, so the car thief so the car thieves won't break into their house and ransack their house. Well, if you do that, if you put a key fog on a table next to the front door, then you're just making it easier for the car thieves. So that's stupid. Yeah, there's things I don't like about Canada, and that's one of them. That's dumb. And also, if someone breaks into your house, I say like in Ontario, wherever this is in Canada, if someone breaks into your house, if someone breaks into your house and you come home and you see that person who broke into your house, you go and beat them up. And you're doing it just to defend your home. Okay, the police arrive. The police arrest you, the homeowner, for beating up the thief, and the thief gets off scot-free. That's messed up right there. And I don't think this guy, this Canuck isn't gonna, or Kevin Overland, wherever his name is, I don't think he's not gonna talk about that at all.
So let me just say seriously, I have no animosity at all towards this woman. If she wants to travel and go to Ireland and have a beer, that's great. And if she'd like to come to Canada, if she decides to come on holiday here in Canada and she comes to a bar, we would be very polite. We would serve her whatever she wants. We would engage in conversation. We would let her have her space and enjoy her time. And when it was time for her to leave, we would be happy to see her go. And
well, yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter if I go to Northern Ireland in the United Kingdom or to Canada. It doesn't matter if I go to any of these countries. I will go there, go to a bar, go to a pub or a bar there, wherever they call it. I'm gonna say pub. If I go to a pub there and I don't drink beer. I'll just eat food. Yeah, I don't drink alcohol. Never touched the stuff in my entire life. I never smoked. I never drink any booze, and that's it. Yeah, if I went to any of these countries, the United Kingdom or Canada, yeah, people will welcome me there. And I'll engage in a conversation with them, and I'll probably engage with them into bashing the United States, because I will bash the hell out of America. Yeah. And I think I think this guy and that Irish woman will love it. If I was in either Canada, the United Kingdom, or any country in the world, I will rip America apart. I will trash the United States, because this country messed me up. It ruined me. The people and the culture here ruined me. I'm screwed up because of America. And it will be great to rip America apart. And there's a kid in the United Kingdom who subs to my channel. His name is Freeze Dollar. And he lives in the UK. And yeah, if I was with him, we're sitting together at a table at some outdoor restaurant in Greece, me and him will be ripping America apart. I'll be trashing the United States. I will trash this country. This country is a fucking pile of shit. I hate it. I can't stand America. I can't stand the president of the United States and these MAGA idiots. And this antisocial, disconnected, segregated, isolated, paranoid, and fake culture of the U.S. And yeah, there's some people from Germany, Deutschland, who said that who view people smiling at other people in places in the United States as creepy and weird. And it is. I agree. Like, they smile at you, but they just smile at you. It's kind of creepy to a German person. So, on with the video.
We would do it all politely, because that's the way Canadians are. Canadians have to understand as well, because I learned something from this polling, is that it's not all Americans. It's those that have been sucked into that cult of negativity and vile, disgusting intolerance. Those are the Americans that have shifted.
Yeah, I'm not MAGA. And a Canadian online called me MAGA. Said I was arrogant. Oh my God. I'm not MAGA. I don't take sides. I'm my own man. There's no MAGA here. And this YouTube channel isn't MAGA at all. I'm not arrogant. If you say I'm arrogant, go right ahead and say I'm arrogant, because I'm not arrogant and I don't care. I just take things like the grain of salt and move on.
Did you see those numbers, how they've diverged? And I have to say, I actually saw those numbers of Democrats, the way they view Canada, increasing. Even as after the bombastic buffoon was elected, probably in a response to the vile, disgusting, horrible hate that they're seeing unleashed in their country, they're actually turning to maybe accepting more. And I have to shout out that group in the United States, because I've been very critical of that group in past videos. My point was, well, don't just blame the other side. You got to get off your ass and actually do something about it. And I've pointed out that there's probably 50, 60, 70 million Americans that didn't bother to vote. And there's some...
Yeah, I didn't vote back in 2024 because I look at the choice between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and these two choices didn't excite me at all. And I chose to sit it out. I didn't want to vote, because what's the point of voting? Because when you vote here in the U.S., you got two parties to choose, the Democrats and the Republicans. And both the Democrats and the Republicans, they're both for the status quo. They're both for the same interests. Yeah. Yeah, they're for the status quo. Corporations making money, like taking money from pharmaceutical companies, an oligarchy, billionaires buying elections and buying things and controlling things. Yeah, like both Democrats and the Republicans, they're both for the same interests. And I'm looking at the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party should be like Bernie Sanders. They should have the mindset and the drive that Bernie Sanders has. And I believe the Democratic Party should be fighting for normal, ordinary, everyday Americans. And they don't. And you look at the Republicans don't give a damn about the poor. And they don't. All they care about is donors, rich people, corporations. That's what the Republicans care about. That's who they care about. The Democrats should be the opposite of the Republicans, and they're not. The Democrats are weak. And they are. Yeah. The failure of Kamala Harris trying to be Republican light and not going to places where the poor are suffering, like places like West Virginia. Yeah. And Kamala Harris was embarrassing men with a campaign ad and having men cross their legs, and a man talks about, oh, I'm so tough I can braid my daughter's hair. That's embarrassing. And that's why Kamala Harris lost to Donald Trump. So, yeah. The Democrats need to get their heads out of their asses and take in Bernie Sanders' vision, drive, and thoughts. But the Blue Party isn't going to do that.
Americans, Democrats, that have voted, but now are just accepting the leadership they have in their party, which is completely, totally, pathetically inept. And they're just leaving the fate of their country into the hands of the bombastic buffoon that's in charge. Their strategy, in my point of view, is that they're simply...
Actually, I'm going to say this. Well, yeah, there's a saying, you can't change a country, you can't change other people. Everything's going to stay the same. And, this guy doesn't have a clue, and he doesn't. I think people in Canada don't have a clue either. Because the Democrats need to grow a backbone. And they don't have a backbone right now. They need a Bernie Sanders backbone, and they don't have that. And Republicans going to keep winning and winning and winning and winning. Going to keep winning and winning and winning because of that. And these MAGA conservative voting jerk-offs are just going to just seal the fate because, MAGA people are foolish and they're stupid. Along with those non-MAGA people who voted for Trump and put him in office. They all put Trump in office. Yeah, this guy's not talking about it.
Waiting to allow that president to make a total, complete, utter fool of himself and become so unpopular that maybe they'll win in the next election. That's the way I've pictured it in past videos. For example, your Democratic leadership, the House leader, and what are the two guys' names? Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer, had twice they had the chance to shut the government down and stop funding this government, and they could have drawn a line in the sand and rallied the troops and completely shut down the government. Two opportunities to do that, and kept it shut down. And I know some Americans will say, well, you can't do that because that would hurt a lot of people, and there's a lot of things that have to be funded and blah, blah, blah. But that's exactly how you should have approached it. You should have shut things down and kept them shut down and stopped funding your government totally until you saw some change in policies. And you would have been viewed as strong and standing up against that rather than caving. And by caving and allowing your government to just keep funding itself, you're just simply allowing them to do what they want. You're a completely ineffective opposition, and you're just waiting and relying on public sentiment to be against the president to win. And hoping that people don't like him is not a good strategy. That was my point in past videos. You notice in those graphs the line for independents was heading down negative, just like Republican voters. And that's a terrible sign because it means this message of hate and division penetrates. It penetrates those independents. And Democrats, you have to work on getting those independents. You have to penetrate them and get them on your side and not let the hate and division cult take them. That's the point of this whole video. The numbers are alarming. They're positive. I'm happy to see the Democrat response. But the other two, independents and Republicans, it's shocking. It's shocking. And it's all the fault of one man. Can you leave some comments in the comment section? Just answer this question for me. Would you have believed 2, 3 years ago or 10 years ago that there could be one man in the United States that could just influence the population to that extent, just by standing there and spewing lies and nonsense, just by saying they're nasty, they're horrible, we should hate them, that millions of Americans would say, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm tired of all this hate, and I am. All this negativity online, and also in real life. I'm just sick of it. Hate, 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 hate. I hate, 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 hate. You know, and them people up there in Canada, some of them people in Canada are going around like they're just attacking Americans. Yeah, just attacking them, thinking that they're all MAGA. And I don't think this guy thinks like this, but there's Canadians who are the total opposite of this guy right here. This guy that you see on the screen, on this screen of this computer. He's a total he's a total opposite. Well, yeah, there's some Canadians who are the total opposite of him. Yeah, got people like Guard the Leaf, Charlie Angus, and a lot of Canadian YouTubers, Canadians online, who are just shitting on all Americans. But I don't think, but there's some Canadians here on YouTube who are not like that, and they're not. Some are here to educate Americans, not put them down. So, you know, you got hate in Canada too. Get some hate up there too. Canada is a mixed bag to me. You got good and bad. And you got the US, everybody hates each other. Everybody's divided. And up there in Canada, everybody's united. It's a united country up there. But you know, in Canada, there's some people up there who have skeletons in the closet. I mean, they're not all good, they're not all perfect, and they're not. I'm not trying to put these people down, but there's some good folks up there in Canada. You know, you have some Canadians who look at you got some Canadians up there who look at other Canadians. Yeah, good Canadians who look at the bad Canadians and they talk about them. Yeah. Those people who live in Alberta want to be part of the United States, who want the province of Alberta to be part of the US. And you got Canadians who live in the US are trashing their country, ripping their country apart. Yeah. And the people from who were in the trucker convoy from 2022, the trucker convoy, started out as truckers coming back from the US from delivering freight, and when it came into Canada, they had to self-quarantine, and the truckers were complaining about it. Then a lot of regular people in cars and pickup trucks joined in, and they traveled all the way to Ottawa along with the truckers and paralyzed Ottawa, Canada's capital. Paralyzed it over those COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Yeah, that caused the truckers to self-quarantine when they returned to Canada from the US from delivering their freight. Yeah, those people are nuts. They're just as crazy and idiotic and insane as those well, they're not idiotic. They're just as crazy as those MAGA people. And I guess a lot of them right now are all unified now. Okay, continue.
50 million of them. That's a great idea. We should start hating Canadians. Would you have guessed that? I doubt you would have. In Canada, this was not even viewed as a possibility. We were the best of friends, closest neighbors. It was not something we ever discussed or even contemplated would be an issue in our future. And now it's our #1 issue. Let me know in the comment section, and let me shout out Dave, who posted this picture. This is the North Cape in Prince Edward Island in the summer. I don't think it looks like that right now. It certainly doesn't look like that here right now. We're covered with a blanket of snow. And I have to let all of you know that I will be going on holiday for about a week and a half now. I'm heading down, not to the U.S., to Mexico to do a little swimming in the ocean. But we'll still get some videos, but I probably won't be posting daily.
Okay, let me stop this. Okay, yeah, this video is pretty long, and and to all of you who made it through this video, I'd like to thank all of you for sticking with me on this video. And I apologize for the video to be long. I apologize for the video for being very long, and I apologize. Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to cover in this video from this guy from Canada. Okay. So yeah, he says that he's traveling south, not to the US, to Mexico. Yeah, Mexico's a good country, and it is. Yeah, and I heard this. Once you leave the US and you cross that border, you're in a whole different world where people will socialize with you, connect with you. Yeah, be around people who believe in social or human connection. Yeah, be in a less toxic environment where you can make friends, talk to strangers. Yeah, and your mental health will be preserved and will be intact. And you won't feel bad, you won't feel crazy, angry, stressed out like you are here in the US. And kudos to this man who chose not to go to the United States, and kudos to Canadians and Canada and people from countries from around the world. Kudos to all of them who choose not to travel to the US. So yeah. So I'm not mad at those people. They're doing the right thing and staying away from this country, and I wish I was one of those people. If I was one of them, I wouldn't be living in the US, period. And yeah, going back to that woman who posted on TikTok and said that she was sad and culture shocked because a lot of people hated her, and the Irish woman made a response video to her video and chewed her out. Yeah, I'm not gonna create a video and showing myself crying, cause that's embarrassing. Crying just embarrasses you. Yeah, crying on a video on YouTube, it just embarrasses you. It just makes you look bad. So I don't need to cry, because let's face it, what's the point of crying and feeling sad? Because nobody here on YouTube is going to feel sorry for you, because there's a lot of trolls and just mean-spirited assholes on YouTube. And the majority of them are from the United States and from other countries, Canada, others. Trolls. Yeah, bunch of trolls. And I learned my lesson. I got attacked by these trolls, and I learned my lesson. I'm not gonna respond to them. I'm not gonna lose my cool and just talk about them in the video, because that's just a waste right there. So that's my response to this video. I loved every bit of it. I loved it. I'm not mad. I'm not sad. I'm not miserable. I feel good. I feel good. Yeah, sorry. I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Knew I should. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I feel nice. Yeah, that's how I feel right now after watching this. So, okay, this video that I just showcased is from Klaus. What's his name? Okay, zoom right here. Klaus Kellerman, POV. Okay, you can check this video out on his YouTube channel. You can sub to him. And if you like the content on this channel and you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. And I would love to have you as my subscriber. And if you don't like the videos on this channel, unsubscribe, okay? Alright. Okay, alright. That's all I gotta say in this video. More videos to come. Alright. Cheers and au revoir. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Goodbye.